Blake actually was not only there in Salt Lake City, but was there on the campus yesterday when all this happened. Blake, first of all, man, how are you?
I mean, given the totality of everything that's going on, I'm doing about as well as I can. It's awful. I'm very numb about everything. But you know what Charlie would want us to do. He would want us to suit up, soldier on, and that's what we all intend to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's that's the talking to just everybody last night, and you and I spoke briefly, and going around the horn. The one thing that nobody has any question of is what Charlie would want us to do. He would just say, "Keep going." He would keep going, just keep going. That's Here you go. Here's the baton. It's yours now. Keep going. Just that's who he was. He didn't, even people talk about his Saturday off. And he didn't even really take the day off. He's
Like
out
the most
hiking. He's
violent
out,
day off
working on
possible.
something else.
It was the most like aggressive day off possible. It is like this is
Yes.
the family day, all in on this. Like it is not. This is not a passive day off. It's not. It was part of the totality of who was Charlie Kirk. That he was 100% on the mission at all times, and sometimes that mission was saving America, and sometimes that mission was Charlie Kirk's family, and he was 100% for both of those things all the way to the end.
So, I mean, Blake, look, you were there yesterday. Obviously, I'm sure there's some sensitive stuff that I don't want to get into until the appropriate time. But, you know, what was it? I mean, you go there, you've been to, how many of Charlie's campus events what was it like? Did you sense that something was off before the gunshot rang out? Kind of paint the picture for us.
I don't want to lead too much into it, but after it happened, I talked to some other members of the team, and several of us did say we experienced some sort of unsettling feeling. I think for me, it was that it was in this amphitheater, which really emphasized like the size of the crowd, but also it emphasized the buildings in the background. And actually, for the first few minutes, before Charlie walked out, I remember I was scanning. I was just looking around idly, like, oh, where would someone be if something happened? And I didn't think too much of it. I stopped, by the time Charlie came out, but I immediately thought back to that as soon as it happened. When it did, I would say I was about 10 feet to Charlie's left when it happened, and it was just it's that one of those moments that'll crystallize in your mind forever. You hear that the pop, and it's not completely clear immediately what it is, but then I looked to my right and I saw immediately what it was, and I'll never forget it.
No. And was there a thought? I mean, obviously Charlie's got great security that I know got to him immediately. These guys are incredibly well trained. I know Dan. I know everybody. I know the whole team, and I'm sure they got him the medical attention immediately that he needed. Got him where he to higher medical facilities at the hospital, and but just so when that happened, is it did it seem surreal in the sense? Did it seem like Butler? Did it seem like everyone sort of scatters, or was it just kind of as confusing as it sounds?
It was definitely confusing, but it was also, it was, how to describe it. It was clear what had happened. There was only one shot. Uh, we all immediately saw what had happened. You're correct. The security got him immediately, got him into the car immediately, got him out immediately. They could not have done their job on that front any better. Uh, and then at that point, it was, what do we do? And I know on my end, I think the first thing I did was I sent a message to, I opened Telegram and I went to our turning point thing and I said, lockdown turning point. I imagined they'd already seen it too, but I just said, lock it down. Something happened. Do it right ASAP. And then I'll be honest, I called my mom because I didn't know if there would be anyone else out there, if anything else would happen. So I just called my mom and said immediately, I can't say more, but Mom, Charlie got shot. I love you. I have to go. And then from there, I met up with some other members of the team. We got to the hospital within, I'd say, about 25 minutes or so, and the rest of the day unfolded from there.
Blake, as a producer for Charlie, you worked so closely with him every single day and directly on, so much of the content that we all got to experience and enjoy as the beneficiaries of this work. I mean, what's running through your mind now in terms of not having Charlie?
It really does. It's painful to say, but he is irreplaceable. And people would ask about this, and I would say Charlie he's not just a show host. And that was what stood out about him. It's that he could be in everything. He was a guy in media. He was an organization builder. He could do Get Out the Vote. He could do grassroots outreach. He could do, he cared about all of the policy stuff. So he could go into the White House and talk to them about appointments, about policy, about what the Senate should be doing. He was in every part of it because he cared about all of it so much. The world of politics it's full of a lot of people who are in it for, they care a bit about, the issues, but they also care about themselves, about getting famous, about getting rich, about resolving some grievance. But Charlie, every single day, he was going all out for the things he cared about the most, which was how does he make America better? And also that he was a man of, deep Christian faith, and he wanted to advance Christianity. He wanted a spiritual revival in America. And truthfully, what I kept thinking of after the news broke was just before this tour happened, Charlie did a quick visit to Korea and Japan. He gave some speeches there. And so the last kind of the last speech he gave was in Japan. And this is to an audience of conservative Japanese people. They're anti-immigration. They're they're Japanese nationalists. There's very few Christians in Japan. And I was telling Charlie about that. This is not your normal audience where it's going to be a lot of Christians. And he said, you know what, Blake, I would still like to provide some witness to Christian faith for these people. Where could we put that in? And we did. And he put it in there. He was saying, you guys have to save your country, and you're going to need to believe in something transcendent, something eternal. And for me, that is my faith in Jesus Christ. And so the last speech Charlie gave, he was witnessing to Christianity, to an audience overwhelmingly of non-Christians. And then the last question he answered before, the one he was answering when the shooting happened, he was talking about his Christian faith with, it was, Mormonism versus Protestantism, but he was witnessing to the gospel there. And I know that if Charlie had to go the way he did, he would have wanted it to be while he was witnessing to Christ in that way.